You're under arrest.
What?
You're under arrest.
When you watch death come at you. This might be the most terrifying cell phone video I've ever seen, and I've seen my share of terrifying videos. 20-year-old India Mackey and her 18-year-old boyfriend Kevin Dixon were having an argument in his van just outside his home in Warren, Detroit. No one knows what the argument was about, but it escalated very quickly. It gets even scarier when you see Kevin wiping a bullet and loading a handgun. Then you hear him say, "You think I'm playing, huh? These big 4.5 hollow tips gonna eat you up."
You think I'm playing, huh?
Okay.
You think I'm playing, huh? Hit you with this big 4.5 hollow tips, gonna eat your up.
The moment she saw him wiping his prints off the gun and bullet, Mackie knew something was up and began to record the event on her phone. Minutes after this video, the police found Kevin driving recklessly with Mackie's body still in the car. She was dead. According to the police, Kevin said she'd been playing with the gun in his home when it went off, and he would have made it except for one tiny detail. India had started recording on her phone moments before she was shot and killed. Death over arrest. First, there was an assault on a police officer by a man in a stolen van. What followed next was a crazy police chase that was near its natural end as this video was taken. Reports say that the van's occupied by a few people. Watching the van as its tire blows out and the driver is forced to draw to a stop here, you'd breathe a sigh of relief thinking it's over, but it isn't. The chase occurred in northwest Miami-Dade right on the turnpike around Northwest 74th Street. Numerous police cruisers had blocked the U-Haul van neatly, but did the driver stop? No, he simply threw the van in reverse and continued driving. That was until he crashed into a cruiser and was blocked on all sides. The driver and about 2 other men jumped out of the van, but one of them would rather jump off the turnpike instead of surrendering to the cops. Watch the struggle to pull him up as he attempted to slip away. The men in the van are all hauled away in cuffs. Who's your real mother? Custody disputes can get crazy, and this one certainly did. It all began with a 911 call from a concerned foster father.
I have a mom who's taking a child that I have custody of, and I need help because she's getting ready to get into a car and drive off. She's starting the vehicle up right now. Okay. And she's driving the engine, and she has them in a car with no car seat. Please.
And is she the mother of the child?
Yes.
Harbor units, your family dispute at Harbor and Swinford. Harbor and Swinford is now a citizen following a kidnapped suspect. Suspect is in a U-Haul pickup, a Chevy Silverado.
Maisha Scott had met up with her 5-year-old son's foster parents for a transfer of custody, but everything went awry. Scott grabbed her son and drove off, prompting the foster father to call 911. When the police caught up with Scott, they tried to settle the matter and handed the boy back to the foster parents.
Because I'm upset, that's why. So
yeah,
you keep telling me to calm down. You can't keep. That's why I said, can you call somebody that can negotiate all of our situations so we all leave fair, so no one just cause no more commotion.
I'm trying to do that.
This is a hazard.
It was at this point that Scott went crazy. She got in her van and appeared to drive away peacefully, but instead she swerved, aiming for the foster mother and some of the officers standing around her.
Oh, hey, hey, hey! Oh.
She drove off immediately as officers opened fire on her. A hot chase ensued and Scott ended up crashing into a tree. She was arrested and charged with 2 counts of attempted murder among other charges related to her actions. The woman she hit was not seriously injured, and one wonders if she'll ever get to be with her son again.
It's going to be a channel, or it's going to be a eastbound channel towards Gaffey.
Okay, just feet into the curbs. Careful, hey guys, made a U-turn coming back after the officers, coming back to Gaffey off of, I believe this is Shepherd here.
So,
Into the park here, guys. Hold the frequency control, hold the frequency.
Peaceful protesters shot. The traffic on Highway 55 west of Panama City was tight on Tuesday, the 6th of November. This traffic issue was caused by climate protesters who had blocked the road in protest against the recent deal the Panama government made to reopen a copper mine. There were photographers and TV reporters on site, capturing the event when the worst happened. 77-year-old Kenneth Darlington, a retired lawyer and university professor, was driving through the highway when he encountered the blockade. He got out of his car with a pistol and fired into the crowd, then went ahead to pull the blockade off the road. His erratic shots fatally caught 2 climate protesters, throwing the gathering into deep turmoil. Darlington was arrested by the cops moments later. Strange fire in Shepherd, Texas. Wildfires are dreadful, not just for the damage they can cause, but most times for how erratic they can get. When this thick fog of smoke is seen rising into the Texas sky, many wonder if another wildfire is on the books, as the smoke seems to be coming from the woods. But the fire isn't coming from the woods. Instead, it's coming out of a strange facility housed deep inside the woods of Shepherd, Texas. There are no other houses near this facility, and no one seems to know much about it. Reports suggest that the facility deals with hazardous waste. An unverified report said the fire had started following a forklift accident, but even as the fire rages on, there are more questions than answers, and about 13 investigators are trying to decipher what's really going on. The fear of the fire spreading had many Texans deeply worried, but thankfully it was eventually placed under control. Saved by quick wits. Armed robbery is almost an everyday occurrence now. In stores, homes, and on the street, people are mugged every few hours. When this Texas homeowner drove home, possibly after a long day of work, he didn't expect robbers, or were they carjackers, would be waiting right outside his doors, but that's exactly what happened. They parked just as he drove onto his driveway and rushed towards his car. There are 4 of them, brandishing guns and yelling at him to give it up. One of them tries to smash the car window with the butt of the rifle, but it was at that moment that the homeowner pressed his foot against the gas. He drove off quickly, running from his home, away from the men of the night. Or are they men of the broad daylight now? Multiple arrests at Fall River McDonald's. Police were called to 1620 Presidential Avenue in Massachusetts, where a large number of teenagers were causing some serious disturbance. By the time the officers arrived on the scene, the kid had moved into the McDonald's store nearby, where they continued to constitute a nuisance. The manager of the store had asked them to leave if they didn't order any food. The officers reiterated the manager's orders, asking the kids to leave or they'd be subject to trespassing.
Leave, or you're going to be subject to trespass and will be arrested. I gave you the warning before you came in. They didn't want you in here. Time to leave, folks. Time to leave. I'm not playing. Time to go. Time to go. 1, 2, 6, 4. I'm going to need more cars at McDonald's. They want you out, man. I'm telling you to go. All right? You don't want to go? You want to give me a hard time? No problem. You are giving me a hard time because how many times did I say time to go?
I want to use the bathroom.
How many times? If you don't start leaving, my handcuffs are coming on. The first person I grab is going. You already ordered? Come over here.
You can see the officer speaking directly to the kids, asking them to make sure to anyone who hasn't left yet is waiting for an order. Here's the moment the officer spoke to one of the kids, asking him to leave since he hadn't placed an order. He argues with the officers before walking off.
Leaving? I'm telling you that. Okay? I already told the manager. So you either start leaving or we're going to start locking people up. We have other people here.
I've been here.
All right, time to go. Time to go.
I order first and then leave?
Time to go.
For what? Can I know why?
Huh?
Can I know why?
Because he doesn't want anybody in here.
So you mean mad people can stay here, but I got...
We're kicking everybody out. We've got more cars coming.
There's all these other people here that's
So-
not ordering, so get them out.
But right now, I'm talking to you.
So you're dick riding.
Yep, time to go.
Yeah, so you're dick riding, so you're gay.
What is it?
So you're gay, nigga.
All right, that's what it is. Go.
Moments later, the same boy tries to get back into the store and the officer is forced to pull him back, leading to an ugly exchange with the boy cussing fluently before walking off.
Time to go. You're not going back in.
Yo, who is you touching, bro?
I'm touching you. You're not going back
like
in.
that, nigga.
Go.
Yo, come over here. That's my little brother's coming with me too, alright? That's my little brother's coming. That's my cousin.
No, he's not.
That's my little brother right there.
You're about to go. He's not coming in. He's not coming in.
Love him. You know that shot.
Not coming in.
That dog, you niggas can't touch niggas without no problem, nigga. Walking.
I want to
Nigga.
spit.
What are you gonna do about it, nigga?
We're gonna lock you up.
Speech, nigga.
You're gonna get locked up. You're gonna get locked up.
For what?
One of the
For what?
cops
For what?
for
What time?
here.
For what?
They don't want
For
you
what?
here. You're about to get locked up.
I know my right.
Time to
You
go.
niggas can't touch no one, nigga. That's on dead dog.
Like that.
You niggas know you can't arrest me, nigga.
Inside, an officer relays the manager's desire for the teenagers to leave the store until he notices the boy with the white backpack has re-entered the store. He immediately places him under arrest.
I'm saying down in, you're standing, time to go. You're under arrest. What? You're under arrest. You're under arrest.
Back up. That's the homie. Back up. Yo. Everybody go.
The arrest triggers further violent arrests as the first arrestee struggles and cusses and is thrown onto the floor. Another boy is arrested and slammed against the wall as well.
Go on the ground. Yo, get off me, nigga. Yo, get off me, nigga. Get off me, nigga. Yo, get off me, nigga. Stand up, nigga. We're all recording.
The police also need help. One major problem with the lengthy police chase is the possibility that civilians may be placed in harm's way or worse. The fast chase could lead to accidents for motorists and pedestrians, but in this chase, a civilian driver cleverly gets involved, ending a lengthy chase, ensuring an end to the chase. Watch as the chase proceeds, the driver running ahead of the cops on Crenshaw Boulevard. The speed is definitely bad for other users, especially as the chase hits traffic with several cars ahead of them. It's at this moment that a civilian decides to get involved, hemming the culprit's car in with his truck. His actions ensure that the culprit doesn't get by. Watch as he subtly blocks the car, giving officers time to pull out their guns and surround the vehicle, and now the suspect has had his hands raised in surrender. Watch the moment the cops ask the concerned citizen to leave his vehicle for a moment for his safety as the suspect is made to crawl out of his car through the window. The way the cops act around this suspect, it all looks like he's armed and considered dangerous. Watch as they drive close in on one of their cruisers, trying to take cover as they near the suspect. Here's the moment the suspect finally gets out of the car in the most dramatic way, flipping over and rolling onto his stomach. Home invaders meet their match. When three masked men approached a home just outside Seattle, they thought it would be business as usual, but it wasn't. The first thing they did was attempt to fool the homeowner by claiming they were law enforcement officers. One of the men could be heard as he called out Seattle police. When that didn't work, they tried to kick the door down.
Seattle police!
These men weren't just masked, they were all armed. If the masks covering their faces weren't clear enough, the guns in their hands tell a scarier story. But they weren't the only ones with a gun. The homeowner was armed as well, and as they attempted to break down his door, he had to show them who's boss. He waited until the door burst open, then he opened fire, forcing the men to flee quickly. Homeowner fights back. People are often very peaceful until they're pushed to their limit. This homeowner, like the last, was forced to defend himself and his family against two masked intruders. Watch the top corner as a masked man in black clothing jumps over the fence, gaining access into this home. He timed his entry perfectly as the homeowner had just returned home and was about to walk through his front door. The intruder is armed with a gun, but what he met wasn't what he was expecting. The homeowner first threw his cup of coffee on the intruder before whipping out his gun and firing at the two men who took to their heels. He didn't stop there. He chased after them, taking cover to ensure he didn't leave himself open to their shots. The man says he reacted that way because he had a 5-month-old baby and a wife in the house and he wasn't going to let anything threaten them. Meeting a grizzly. Man vs. nature stories are always some of the most deadly encounters ever, but with homes in good neighborhoods, away from thick woods and wild forests, we feel a little more secure until we're not. This is a residential neighborhood in British Columbia, Canada. 7-year-old Huxley is riding a scooter in his neighborhood, carefree and happy with the world until he turns around suddenly. What does he have standing behind him? A black bear. The bear had been standing behind Huxley and had just begun towards the little boy when he turned suddenly, facing the dangerous animal. The boy didn't flinch. His courage was glorious to watch as he seemed to fix the bear with a strong stare. In one heart-stopping moment, the boy and bear stare at one another. It could have been deadly if Huxley had tried outrunning the grizzly. The little boy didn't have to stare for long. A neighbor soon appears with hands raised, forcing the bear to leave Huxley. Watching this neighbor try to chase the bear away is scary on its own. A bear is capable of tearing up an adult human, yet here he is, almost playing hide and seek with the dangerous beast. What did little Huxley do afterward? He rode off on his scooter like nothing had happened. The dangers of journalism. People often underestimate what it takes to be a journalist. Chasing breaking news, digging through the darkest parts of existence to find every hidden piece of information and reporting it requires a whole different kind of courage. For this journalist, Gaza is the hunting ground amid numerous airstrikes and a multitude of bombings. As she attempts to relay information on live TV, an airstrike hits a tower not very far from her position. Just watch the tower behind her explode.
Also, the Hamas forces are believed to have brought multiple Israeli captives back into Gaza. Do you know anything about that? What can you report at this stage? All right. Yumna, please take cover. If you are in a position to do so.
Considering the proximity, one wonders if the strike could have hit the tower she was standing on. Her reaction tells us she wasn't entirely safe as she's pretty shaken by the explosion.
We're happening. If you are not in a position to do so safely, then please get to safety.
No, it's okay. This is a missile attack on Palestine Tower, right in the middle of Gaza City.
Yumna, take a moment to breathe. Take a moment, you and your team, take a moment to breathe, okay? Just take a moment as we are looking at this picture. We are hours into this war between Gaza and Israel, and we have just witnessed live what an Israeli air raid looks like on a populated area of Gaza City.